Hello, this is a visual demonstration and discussion of the interface for WPP Ogilvy Denver office in the divisible space. Unlike the cafe and reception area, this area uses a fixed button controller, an image of which you see on the screen. These buttons can be labeled, that's what the little dotted lines indicate, but they cannot be moved or changing colors. They're physical buttons, not areas on a touchscreen. And that brings us really to the reason for including a visual description of this hard-to-alter interface before going forward. And that is that in these rooms, the power button, single power indicator, and mute indicator are fixed. Those can't be changed. They come to us from the manufacturer. They could simply be ignored or used. My proposal for this room is, since our actual controls are on and off, because each room of the divisible space has only one potential source for the display, we'll get to the complexity there in a moment, and also the ability to mute the audio and to use the rotational knob to ramp the volume. And this white bar that you see around the knob actually illuminates blue as feedback to show the volume level. That's all the control that's been requested. When the room is on, the display comes on and passes through, in the case of the master room, the video conferencing system by Polycom, or in the case of the slave room, the Crestron Mercury. In either room, users can connect wirelessly or via wired connection to that AirMedia Mercury or Polycom video conference system and pass their signal through to the display. So that switching is done automatically with no need for the intervention from the control system. It seemed most prudent to simply use the power control that's provided as a toggle. So press it when the system is off, it comes on, press it when it's on, it goes off. And use that similarly to the mute button that we have functionality for in these rooms. That leaves us with this bank of 10 buttons not currently used. So there's two possibilities of what we can do with, actually a proposal for using them in two ways. Currently, since we don't need them to provide functionality for the room, we can use their feedback state, a blue glow around the outside of each button indicated by this little dim bezel here, to show whether or not the controller is active. That is to say, whether the room is combined or separated. If we do that, although there'll be no labels on these buttons, they will all light up when the controller can be used. So in the case of divided space, they would both be lit in both rooms. When the room is combined, only the panel in the master room containing the Polycom video conference system would have these buttons lit. Pushing them would have no effect. It's just a set of indicator lights. Their availability, though, gives us a chance for some future growth to add functions to the room, in which case I would suggest that any added functions would not be part of the array that simply illuminates just to indicate that the controller is active. So as long as we've got one or two buttons that don't need to have functions, we can use them as the room active indicator. I realize this is relatively complicated to understand given the limited kinds of user feedback we can offer, and of course would welcome questions or suggestions. Please contact me by email or through our project manager, Lisa Spears. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to completing the project.